Hey designers, in this video, we're going to create a walk cycle quickly and easily in After Effects. First, open After Effects and select the pen tool to draw a leg. Once you're done, we need to adjust the anchor points. Place one anchor point in the middle of the line for the knee, and another one for the foot, like this. Now, press R to bring up the rotation properties and click on the stopwatch next to rotation. Before making any adjustments, ensure that the anchor point tool is placed at the top of the leg. This will give you better control over the rotation. Next, rotate the leg, like so. Move the playhead to the 1 second mark. The initial keyframe should have been set to -24 degrees, so now set it to 24 at the 1 second mark. Then, move the playhead to the 2 second mark and set the rotation back to -24 degrees again. Now, move the playhead to the end of your timeline and press N to trim it to this point. At this stage, it's time to refine the path of the leg. In the search bar, type path to reveal the right path option. Click on the stopwatch next to path to create a keyframe. Press U on your keyboard to only display the properties you're working on, in this case, path and rotation. Move the playhead to the point where the leg becomes stationary on the floor and straighten up. At this point, add a blank keyframe. Now, move the playhead a few frames backward, and start adjusting the foot path. To do this, select the path, press V to switch to the selection tool, and click on the anchor point. Move it downward slightly to make the leg look straighter, like this. This will help smooth out the movement and make it look more natural. Now, move the bar indicator back to the point where the leg becomes stationary and straight. Move a few frames forward from this point and adjust the last anchor point, making it align in a straighter line, like this. Next, move the bar indicator to the second keyframe of the rotation. Now, select all of the keyframes, starting from the knee down to the foot, and double-click to enable the option to rotate. Rotate the leg slightly to adjust its movement, like this. Let's preview the animation and see how it looks. Now, to loop the animation, select the first keyframe by clicking on it and press Ctrl+C to copy it. Move the bar indicator to the last frame and press Ctrl+V to paste the keyframe there. Go to the Properties, select Add, and choose Offset Path. Now, head to the Offset Path options and increase the amount slightly to adjust the thickness of the leg's movement, and also change the line join to round join. Now, press U to reveal the keyframes again, and let's see how it looks. You'll notice there's a keyframe on the point where the leg becomes stationary. You can delete this keyframe now to keep the animation smooth. Let's preview the animation again, it's looking good. Before finishing up, let's increase the timeline length. Select the rotation keyframes and press F9 to apply Easy Ease. Finally, check the distance between the first and second keyframe on the path. For this example, it's 17 frames. Now, select all the path keyframes except the first one, and move the bar indicator to the last frame. Give a 17 frame gap and press Ctrl+V to paste the keyframes again. Give a 17 frame gap and press Ctrl+V to paste the keyframes again. Move the bar indicator to the last frame and press N to trim the timeline at that point. Now we'll create the loop. Hold down the Alt key on your keyboard and click on the stopwatch next to rotation. Click on the small icon to open the expression menu, go to Property, and select Loop Out, Cycle. This will make the rotation keyframes move in a continuous loop. Close the rotation properties. Now, let's duplicate this leg layer by pressing Ctrl+D on the keyboard. With both layers selected, press R to display only the rotation properties. Select the duplicated layer and offset it to the second frame of rotation. This ensures the second leg starts moving slightly later, making the walk cycle more natural. Move the bar indicator to where the duplicated layer begins, and press B to trim the timeline from that point. Now, preview the animation and you should see the walk cycle in motion. Next, close the properties of both layers. Select the duplicated leg layer and give it a black fill to differentiate it. Preview the animation again to ensure everything looks right, then close the properties of both layers. Once you've drawn it, switch to the selection tool and adjust its position as needed. Now, let's move on to creating the body and head for the character. For the head, start by using the circle tool to create an oval or a circle, whichever you prefer. Once you've drawn it, switch to the selection tool and adjust its position as needed. Rename this layer to Body. Next, use the circle tool again to draw a smaller circle for the head. Ensure that its anchor point is centered as well. Now, rename this layer to Head and adjust the position so it's aligned with the body. After positioning, parent the head layer to the body layer. This way, when we animate the body, the head will follow automatically. Select the body layer, press P to bring up the position properties, and click on the stopwatch next to position. Move the bar indicator a few frames forward and add a blank keyframe at that position. Go back to the first frame and move the body slightly upward. To loop this motion, copy the first keyframe by selecting it and pressing Ctrl+C. Move the bar indicator a few frames forward and press Ctrl+V to paste the keyframe. Next, copy the second keyframe by pressing Ctrl+C, move the bar indicator a few frames forward, and paste this keyframe using Ctrl+V. To make this animation loop smoothly, hold down the Alt key and click on the stopwatch next to position. In the expression field, write loop out, ping pong. This will create a back and forth looping effect for the body movement. Now, preview the animation, and you'll see your perfectly animated walk cycle, with the body and head moving naturally. I hope you found this tutorial helpful and easy to follow. If you liked it, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to Ace Designs for more tutorials.